Good morning. It's Friday, April 11th, and because I've had such a beautifully full week in my studio, launching into offering intuitive energy readings to real live people in person, it's been just an amazing journey, really. So I haven't posted as much online, and so it's Friday, and I'm actually going to do a couple of online readings for people this morning. So I'll be here at home before I head to my studio to finish out the day. And this is finishing out the week of offering complimentary readings. And so I just thought, let's have a cat right up in our faces today. So I went to Walmart this week because I live in a small town, and I'm sorry for those of you who don't like Walmart. It's all I have when I'm like 45 minutes from other options. Sometimes when the impulse strikes, I've just got to use it sometimes. Like I didn't even have time to go to an online store because sometimes I just have to act on this stuff. So what happened was I needed some for this new practice of intuitive, whatever this is going to be called, drawing, collaging. I love collage. Maybe that's why I love this so much. Intuitive collaging. I thought I needed some markers, so I bought a cheapy little set of markers that I don't mind getting a lot of use, because I have nice markers for actually artwork, but I thought, and they don't do well. It's like I have to pay attention because the tips are fine. These, I'm like, I haven't even looked at them yet. What do they look like? Let's see. Oh, they're fine tip. Oh, it says that ultra fine and 25 fine tip. There's 25 fine and ultra fine. Well, that's kind of cool. What's this one? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I wonder, that'll be interesting, because my plan was, if there's a plan to this stuff, is pick, that's why I wanted something with a case that stood upright. My light just fell off. I have a clippy light that helps shine light on my desktop, and it just literally fell down. Okay, we're back. And then I picked up random things. So I have a bucket of randomness. There's eyeballs, little square things with letters, like jewelry. There's Legos. There's paper clips. Some of this stuff I already had. And so I thought, I love the creativity part of that. Let's see what happens. And then I had some fake flowers, and I chopped them all up, and I can pull and toss flower petals down. That's what I'll be right back. And then I still have buttons and hair ties that I used in a different, reading. So for today, I'll just use the new ones I haven't used yet. But we always have other things to draw upon. So I just thought, let's have some fun and open up our intuitive selves today. And I bought cheaper paper because I was using my watercolor and acrylic painting paper, and that shit is expensive. So I'm like, no, we're gonna and I'm just making scribbles. So I feel like I haven't been down in my studio for a while, so I'm really happy to start the end of the week this way. So thank you for being here. I'll put a timestamp so you can skip the musings, easily. So let's take a deep breath and just have some gratitude for the week. Oh my God, guess what else I got? This did come on Amazon. I couldn't help myself. I wanted to bring in more numbers, and I'm about ready actually to use these blank cards. I shuffled all the colors up. I looked online to get cards that had sense of timing, like this week, always, never, in the fall, in the autumn, like in 2 weeks, like what, next month, the next full moon, I don't know. And so I'm like, those cards are expensive too. When I have all the ideas, I just want to make the cards. And so I'm going to be making cards that have more to do with timings. And it's not so much about being predictive. It's about, like, I don't know, just because these cards have a way of appearing and resonating with people, maybe this sense of timing will help, time box some of the energies for people who are really seeking that. It'll be like, if it resonates, take it. If not, don't. And so those timings might resonate with certain people. And again, I don't want to bring in the sense of like, oh, that's when it's going to happen. It's more about like, is this a current energy thing? Is it something from the past? So I might actually make it more loosey-goosey in those terms. Actually, now that I'm talking about it, I think so. Like a, pacing stuff, like slowing down, speeding up, growing, diminishing. Like that's what it is. Thank you for letting me talk. That's how my inspirations come, my intuitions come through talking. And what I'm finding in what I've been doing the last couple weeks of in-person readings as part of this complimentary launch period is really tapping into the movement of energies, and it's been really, I feel it. And so I think these cards will be less about timing and more about movements. Thank you. Thanks for telling me that. And I'll attribute that idea to you. So look at these. Look at these cute little, I picked the colors. They're just like a few bucks. So, I'm trying to do it on the cheap. They're like colors. They're my teal color. That's my favorite little color. And then purple. So they have we could toss down and see about numbers. And I think that's why I thought about timing. But numbers in numerology, have some meaning. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring in a sense of numbers. I love words, so I have letters. And we'll just see, it may not mean something to me, but when people see some letters down there or initials or could be a word, then it might resonate with them in a more specific way. So all that said, let's get started. Drinking some coffee. So again, I'm just going to close my eyes. Do I have a pen? I do. I'm going to start actually with my favorite little pen, which reminds me, I need to order some more purple ink because I love that ink color coming out of this pen. Feels so good. Okay. So I'm just going to start with some scribbles. Just tapping into the energy. This beautiful week, there's something about just all the gratitude I've felt this week, and I've said a bunch of little prayers of thanksgiving, basically just like, oh, thank you. Today, as I've gotten started with this practice with people. So now I'm going to move to the, hopefully not drawing on my desk. I've got to stay within the boundaries. So there's something here about, there's I don't know, some energy. Okay, I gotta close my eyes. I don't know what it is. So I got, this is new, so I'm I just want it to be random, more intuitive. There's definitely a different energy to what I'm feeling today than the last few times I've done these scribbles. Okay, so I'm going to call that quitsies for the colors, because that felt like a good ending. And then I'm going to go to this without making a mess. Okay, and just just see what wants to come out, and then I'll go to my flowers. I think I filled this one too full. And then, okay, so let's see what we have. And we're going to start tapping in to what this feels like. Okay. Well, interesting little, there's a big eyeball right here. Okay. I'm just seeing, I don't want to move things. Looks like oh, look at my hand. Okay, well, we learned something new today. Swiping my hand across all those inks. I think that it was from this. I must have a globular on the end of it. Okay. I feel like there's going to be an energy come through the cards, perhaps, and maybe that's why I mentioned energy movements. There feels like a slowing down of energy in this one, and maybe a not wanting to acknowledge that, like a slowing down, and maybe it's an age thing, who knows. Kind of feels age related, like some of us, it's a natural human thing, right? Not wanting to acknowledge this idea that it's natural to slow down. And there's like wanting to focus, like there's this reflective feeling coming through of wanting to focus on the past when we felt lighter, not as heavy, and when things were maybe bigger, faster, lighter. And then as we age, it does feel something like a slowing down, getting a little heavier, and not just weight, but like gravity feels like more impactful to our human bodies, doesn't it, as we age? For those of you under 30, it doesn't have to make sense yet. It's coming. But you've always heard us old people talk about that, so there's something about, in the past, things were like, when you think of like the springtime and the past, and like, remember those times when everything grew and bloomed, and now as things move on, it feels like we have less newness in our lives as we age, like new experiences just aren't as frequent because we've lived a lot of life. So we have to actually seek the newness. We have to like manifest that newness, and we have to intend to have newness. And then we can start to feel those like blooming energies and like, oh my God, everything, there's a paradox with like slowing down in our age. And maybe it's going to come through the reading, who knows? There's a paradox with like we feel physically like we slow down. But the act of not having new experience actually makes time feel like it goes faster, like it flies by, because the impact, the significance of the new experience, nothing sticks in our head because everything's the same, because we're not getting impacted by newness. Newness makes memories. Over when we start to slow down in our old age, meaning our bodies slow down and time speeds up, I swear there's going to be something in this reading about that, or I'm going to write a poem about it. Because I love the paradox of that. Like our physicality slows down and the intangible speeds up. What is that? And then in youth, time goes slower because everything's new and significant and impactful, and it makes memories. And yet we are fast. We are like zoom and vibrant and vitality. And isn't that crazy? So something about the physicality, the denseness of us slows down, and everything else speeds up as time moves along. Oh man, I wonder what else is in here. Are any of you tuning in from New Zealand or thinking about New Zealand? Just a curiosity, maybe for one or two of you. There's something like desiring to no longer feel stuck. So that could have something to do with that slowing down, gravity weighing us down, like feeling heavier in our emotional body too. It almost feels like it's almost like not just an age-related slowing down, but like an energy of like feeling trapped or stuck. And I just want to break open. I just want to break this. I want to break through. I want to break through the stuck feeling by breaking myself open to feel like I'm new again, to new experience. I feel like that's the overall theme coming through in a lot of different ways in this reading. I want to see what else. There's something about, isn't it funny? Don't I always say that? There's something about, hold on. Something about communication. Let's see what that's about. There's something about maybe travel for some of you, like in an airplane. Maybe that's the New Zealand trip. Are any of you going on a trip to New Zealand? I don't think it's for anybody watching today because there aren't very many subscribers I have. But those of you who are subscribed, thank you. I deeply appreciate it. It makes me so excited. I'm like, yay! Hi out there. It's like because I feel like that connection, like deeper and deeper as a number, like one more number, yay, more connection, you know, like, because I subscribe to so many other people and I feel like that's me giving them a piece of my interest, you know, like, oh, what you're doing means something to me. And I just feel like because I feel so many feelings about this, I just hope that this has that for somebody else. And so when I see a number, I'm like, it's kind of like that validation, like, yay, somebody's getting something out of this stuff besides me, you know, and it really fills my heart. So thank you. So anyway, there seems to be something about, and maybe all those feelings were coming through because if it may not be New Zealand. Let's just call this some international travel, perhaps that's for connection. It could be a love interest, maybe you've dated online or something, I don't know, but it's something about like world travel to, maybe that's the thing that's calling us into breaking open whatever stuck energy there is. Maybe it's all related. Also something about communication and almost like it's almost like desiring communication from somebody who you feel like is just shut down, and you're the one that's open, like desiring that incoming of, I just want, it's almost, or it's like maybe you're the one desiring this other person to just break open, just communicate, reach out. I want to connect with you, and I feel like you're a little closed off, and it might be from past wounds. Typically is, right? Like what is, like, it's almost like maybe you're the one that's going to help this person break open, or that's what you're desiring your role to be in their life. Or maybe if you're in a married relationship, is one of you feeling a little closed off? Like you've entered this stage of your relationship of a slowdown where, again, all of it feels related somehow. Like you've entered a stage where it's like, I just want to come back together heart to heart. It's not even about the physicality at this point. Like we need to reconnect. We need to set a date night where we just sit down and talk. You know what I mean? That kind of like, let's reconnect. And then if it's not even that big of an intensity, is this the realization where you're like, oh yeah, we haven't had one of those in a while. Maybe we should do that before we start this major slowdown, major drift apart. You know what I mean? Like nip it in the bud. So those are a lot of the things coming through to me. And with that relationship thing, it does feel like kind of some love relationship for some of you, where you reflect on the happy times when it's like the springtime of love, when things were blooming, and there's that nostalgia coming through of like, oh, happy times. What are you supposed to be learning from that? I think it's like bringing that energy in to whatever this you feel like you might be headed toward a slow time or in the midst of one. Something is saying, bring in whatever, like tap into your body, what makes you feel that love for that person, and that will break you open into actually showing the love, which will speed the energy back up. If we just stew about it and we're like, oh, why are we like this? No change can happen. It's got to be felt. It's got to be a felt sense in the body, right? Like, spend some time having that nostalgia feeling and being like think about it until you start to feel it in your body, and then it's going to inspire some action, whether it's like draw a little picture for them, or make a handmade card, or show some small act of, hey, I love you, whatever that is for you, or I'm thinking about you. Or if you have a lot of humor in your relationship and you feel like you haven't done that in a while, do a little fun joke or prank, or like do a little funny little dance, whatever it is. Something is like saying break open. It's not like we can just think ourselves into breaking open. A breaking open is a physicality. So there's a lot of physicality coming up in here, that's the energy being called for to become unstuck in some way. That's what we got. This time I'm going to see what we can do to like keep this energy with us, because when I'm done, I want to take a picture to upload with this reading. And you, pen, I got to figure out why you just blobbed all over my hand. Looks like little ants or bugs. Okay, so here we are, already 22 minutes in. I don't care. I'm going to put chapters in so you can watch this on double speed or skip ahead, whatever you want to do. I'm going to use these fresh new little babies I got last weekend. I think I got them last Saturday. I popped into this shop. I like to support the local. That's coming through again, isn't it? Walmart versus local. My Walmart is local, but you know what I mean. Like, I love to support the shops, especially for the metaphysical shops, because I want to see more of that around me. So I give them my money when I can. And she didn't have anything. She didn't specialize in decks. She was an herbalist, an herbologist, but she had a few decks, and I was like, well, out of all the ones she had, the very few, this is the one that spoke to me. And honestly, it's been very sweet. I love the energy. So there's a reason I popped in there and gave her my attention, my money energy. And they weren't they were cheap, in terms of like, some people way overprice them, in terms of like overprice as in, hey, if your artwork's it's not a judgment overpriced, but in comparison to like the same deck in a different shop, some people just jack it way up. And I'm like, dudes, I know what this goes for. Check yourself. So anyway, I'm going to just see what comes out. Four of Swords, the Tower. What I'm going to do, I think that's the moon, but I have to... This is my journey of like ingraining the numbers into my head, because I haven't focused on it, so it hasn't like in there yet. But I think that is, that's the moon. That's the Tower. Okay, just double checking myself. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. So overall, we've got some big stuff coming in. Wow. And then we've got Strength. We've got 3 out of 5 or major arcana. What's going on out there, guys? Coffee talk. What's going on? Yeah, I'm back on the coffee big time. I said, this is going to last a long time this time. Well, it lasted like a little, like 2 months. To me, that's a long time, I guess. Again, trying not to to judge myself. That was today's A Course in Miracles lesson. Salvation is my only function here, meaning coming into acceptance for all that is. That's what I'm doing here. And look at me judging myself this whole time this morning. So still working on it. Anyway, 8, and reason, if I'm being said, something might come through with that. Who knows? The 8, my stomach just growled, is strength. So the overall energy for what we're going to end up with is something about strength, like calling in strength, tapping into that, realizing it's already there. We'll see what happened. You know what's funny? I bent a card a while back and I didn't know which card. And I'm like, oh, bummer. I just got these. And I bent a corner back because they're not that, they're pretty flimsy. They're like a normal card deck, not very thick. But I was like, oh, well, they weren't that expensive. Again, perfectionism here. And I just realized it was the strength card is the one that got bent. Isn't that funny? So there's something about recognizing that maybe like we might feel less than strong because we feel a little infirm, like that energy here of like in old age slowing down and just like our bodies don't work like they should. So our physicality might feel less strong, but the energy of this card is like, yeah, despite this, I have strength. Like despite whatever I feel, I just I know that I should but I can tap into that inner strength. And maybe that's how it relates back to like acceptance for all that is what helps me realize quit judging. That's what makes us feel not strong, is when we judge each other like we should be different than we are. So therefore I'm not worthy, I'm not strong, I'm like less than, when it's actually like, no, just recognize you're always made of love. You're always made of strength. You can tap into that. I don't know if that's going to be related. We'll see. 4 of Swords is like that energy of tapping in to your inner wisdom. We'll just leave it at that. These are broad strokes. We have the Tower. So there's some swift change afoot, whether it's happening already or it's going to. It's not just swift. It feels a little disruptive. So when we think of that, makes a lot of sense with this like projection into the future here of like being able to tap into our strength to go through disruption. Perhaps the ground under us is a little shaky, the edges of our corners are being bent, yet we can still land upright, not tip over. The Moon here is saying like something needs to be illuminated from the depths. Like bring it up to the surface. There's a timing to deal with something, and it's pretty deep. Could be subconscious stuff, could be past stuff. It's time to deal with it. It's been influencing us. Like the moon affects the tides in ways like we don't think about it, but it's always happening. It affects things on a very big and very influential level. And so if it's out of sight, out of mind, we're not always looking at the moon yet. And like when it's daylight, we don't see the moon, yet the moon is still affecting our tides. Even when it's not shining and getting our attention, something's coming through. If like something's calling for our attention, even in just coming into our awareness, even if it's like we can't see a physical thing, it's calling our attention to deal with. It's like, hey, it's time to bring this up to the surface. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is a slowing down kind of energy. So there's something about this coming through with the 7 of Pentacles. We'll see how it all relates. Swipe it away. Now, what do we want to do here? Ooh, I gotta fix that thing. Oh, crap. Because I haven't been down here in a while, everything's fallen over. The Tower. Okay. So let's just see what wants to come through. I don't want to do a big long reading because I've got stuff to get to this morning. So I'm just going to do something a little different. I got the King of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles. I don't even know if you can hear me. I feel like I'm talking kind of quiet today. I'm kind of mellow. And Judgment and the Queen of Swords. I'm going to pull an overall. We've got the 3 of Wands. Okay, I'm going to keep these here because we'll keep using them. So the overall energy of the 3 of Wands is like looking out there and being like, what's next? There's got to be something more, or what's going to make me move out beyond this wall to follow my vision, my passion, my purpose, perhaps. So, and I feel like it has to do with that inner strength. Spoiler alert, what's going to move us beyond our wall? What's going to break us open? Tapping into the strength we start to recognize we've always had. And that's maybe that moon energy being like, bring that strength up to the surface so you can see it and tap into it and like recognize it. Hold up a mirror to yourself. Say some affirmations, you know. I feel like we just did a spoiler alert what this reading's about, but we'll see. There's probably more nuance here. There always is. The King of Pentacles is, and the 10, we're going, and I like to look at the movement, like maybe at this high level here, it's like what we really desire is this trust in my ability to bring something to fruition, meaning it's like abundance. It's everyday life stuff. There's something I want, and I want the strength of a king, you know, to make it happen for my people, for my loved ones. But maybe there's like, what's in my way? Because he's starting out strong right here, as in that's what I desire. And then we're slowing down a little. Remember when we got that 7 of Pentacles and I said there's a slowing down energy? Well, something is either slowing down or calling for a slowdown and saying, well, it's like reflecting on, well, why do I want that so badly? What is it that you want? Whatever your specific situation is, whatever this maybe purpose is, well, why do you want it? It's being called for reflection, like that moon energy, that's very reflective energy. So reflect on why you want it. And this is saying like there's some deep value system that's underneath all of your why. Like find your why, because the 10 of Pentacles is why is family. Like I want to be able to support the people I love, even generationally. It's like generational wealth type stuff. What am I building to last, and why do I want it to last? You know, questioning your underlying assumptions. And then we move into Judgment, which is the day of awakening and acceptance for all that is. So something, about acceptance was coming through again. And it also means like awakening, like spiritual awakening to my higher purpose, because this is all day-to-day stuff, like grounded in reality. Both of these are like about, well, what was I put here on this earth to do, and how do I break into doing that? What's holding me back? Is it day-to-day stuff, this worry about how, like, getting my ducks in a row and being able to support my family, and like something always, I like to say always, but there's like these day-to-day worries have a way of keeping us limited thinking. You know what I mean? It's like we shoot ourselves down before we can break into the what if, and before we can even break into questioning our why. Like, or why do we want this so badly? Our human self comes in and says, no, it's too hard. You don't have enough in your savings account. You need to save more. You need to have all these ducks in order to like grow your duck family. You know, it's like we limit our thinking, don't we? It's like, nope, can't do it. And it usually goes back to some self-limiting belief. And I think that's that moon energy. Like the moon is like, why are you holding yourself back? What is it? Reflect on not only your why of why you want this in your life, but why do you feel like you can't have it? Because there's that duality of the moon. Oh, I'm getting all the chills. There's something here that says you're going to come into that strength, that overall that we had, by reflecting on, why do I want this thing? First of all, this feels like you know what you want. And if you don't, it's saying like, reflect on that too. Like, I've been buried in the day-to-day. What about me? What do I want? What do I want to build from this point forward? Reflect on that. Then reflect on the why. Why do I want it? And then the why can't I have it? Because the 3 here is really calling to me. Those are the 3 big questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? Why do I think I don't deserve it? Boom. If I had a mic, I would drop it. And I'm not going to drop my actual mic. No. Okay. So that judgment is stepping into all of that authenticity. It's like, let's get real, folks, because that's the path to awakening, breaking yourself open. And then we have the Queen of Swords here at the end, which is like, basically through love, you're stepping into all that truth. She's a truth seeker and a truth teller, and she's like, no more BS, no more moon energy. This is all about truth and clarity and speaking it and feeling it. And really just through love, you get real with your family. There's feels like some of that too. Family, loved ones, could be your love relationship. It's like we've had a lot of illusion going on, a lot of things that weren't clear, a lot of not really. It's like doing the day in, day out with like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? What do we value? Why do I feel like I can't have it? Let's break out of that cycle. And she's the one that's going to do it. This is the energy being called for. Man, this is big stuff. Let's go a layer deeper. What? Moon, you get out of here. We just talked about you. Well, that's what it's about. Oh, man. This is exactly what this... Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Becky. Okay, so we have the King and Ten of Pentacles. That's what that reflection moon energy is all about. Just like we said. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What do I really want? Why do I want it? There it is. Why do I feel like I can't have it? Because of that slowdown. Like the moon is like, that's why that slowdown energy is here. It's reflective. That's probably why that big eyeball's there. Reflecting into the past, but up. Like, why? What do I really want? Why looking into the past? What's been my trajectory? Why do I feel like I can't have it? Like getting a little nostalgic, like we talked about, like when things were green and like I had all this ambition and my mind was more broken open and I felt youthful, and tap into that youthful energy of the past and be like, why do I feel like I can't have it? Because that's like inner child work. That's shadow work. Something that the moon is all about illuminating the shadows. Like what's lurking in the shadows. This is being called for in this reading. This reading here is saying go to the past to reflect on all that youthful energy, to bring it into the day, because today we feel like we're slowing down. A slowdown isn't bad. Something is calling us to slow down for reflection time. You can't reflect when you're going so fast, right? So that's still coming through here. And then you know what? There is something, that communication piece was coming through, and that's her. We're going to tap back in to see what that means. So now we have the Two of Pentacles with like this whole, what is it about? I feel like it's like, what is it about being in this day-to-day life with these people, whether it's family, a relationship, whatever it is for you, you love them. But what is it about that? Is there something about that that's making you feel a little stuck? Meaning it's usually not, some people feel really stuck, like, man, what did I just get myself into? I am tied down, and that's not a good feeling. Believe me, I felt it. And it's not been about the other person. It's always been about me. I'm not saying it's about you, but I'm just saying that I'm getting that feeling here of like, the feeling of stuckness. Like, what did I just get myself into? And it could have been like for 10 years, it's been trending toward that. And it's usually about like I gotta break myself open. I'm the one in the rut. It just makes me look out there and say, I don't want any of this anymore. Or there's something about this I don't like. And it might be like the quick thing, like this judgment of like, well, it's because they're doing that and they make me feel stuck. And that the work makes me feel stuck. And this, but it all reflects back inward to say like, no, it's something in me. I want to be broken open. I want my mindset to change, like that Four of Swords. I need to I want to go inside and reflect on like what matters to me. And then this Two of Pentacles is like saying like, what am I juggling? There are a couple things here. I'm trying to figure out my balance, like between, I do want to stay with this love, family, home life situation, even if you live alone or have no pets, whatever. There's something like, I like what I've built up so far. This is a sense of home for me. Like sometimes we just got to tap into that and say, yeah, actually, I do love this as a home base, because maybe there is a contemplation of a move. But it's like saying, wait a minute, actually, there are some benefits, pros, things I like about this. And then what is it about being broken open and this freedom? And what do I want in life from this point forward? Like, it's something to saying, reflect on both of those things with this juggling and say, like, maybe it's coming up with this new third thing that has the best of both of those. Or maybe it's just coming into an understanding of like why I like those aspects, because it then says, well, what's the underlying value system or my why, by really tangibly reflecting and picking out, teasing apart, what are all the good things about all of this, and being like, what recipe am I stirring up with all the good stuff? Because there's definitely something of like, that's a searching kind of motion, isn't it? It's like you being an alchemist, and I'm like, I'm figuring out, dream it up, create it. It's creation energy that I'm feeling because of this judgment. You're being broken open, and sometimes you just gotta physically, tangibly, like in your physicality, make some movements, break yourself open into a new way of thinking and believing. So there's something about the physicality again coming through, like doing a practice, go for a run or a bike ride, or like go for a walk, look around. I don't know, something physicality wise, like do something you don't normally do just to move your energy. There's an energy movement here. And when we start to slow down, which we need to have reflection time, when we start to do the what if, sometimes we need to bring the vitality into our body in some unexpected way, like not our normal way of being, because we've got to shake like that tower energy. We got to shake things up a little, like in our energy body, and then be like, oh my God, I feel so good again. I feel alive. We've all felt that. It's like, sometimes somebody just needs to say, hey, do a little dance, get weird. And you're like, I feel silly, but okay. And you do it, and you're like, yeah, put on some music. So anyway, this Three of Pentacles here is, you do love being in community and collaboration with people. And this, like, I desire us coming back together. So there really is this energy's coming through big time of like, it's time to slow down and reflect and tap into like my inner strength. What do I want? Why do I want it? And like through that physicality piece, you're going to start it, like breaking open, speeding up, coming back into connection, because it's going to be about, okay, fam, let's get real. We've just been going day in, day out, being the same old people, having the same old arguments and conversations. We don't feel like we're really growing as people together. And that's what we all want. So let's get real and talk about that. Like, do you guys like living here? This is even if it's just you talking to yourself or your cats, whatever it is. Do we like it here? Do we like how we are? What do we want to be different? Let's get real, fam. And that's that. It's beautiful. This is like, something's calling for like that communication piece is huge. Like, will you just talk to me? Tell me how you really feel. What are you really thinking? What do you think about all the time? Let's have like conversations about, let's have what if conversations. What if? Look at all those sun rays out on the horizon. Like, what are we going to build out in all that open land? There's a 3 here again. 3 and 3. This is exactly what that's about. I'm getting all the chills. Tell me what it's about. I'm so This energy is beautiful. There's a heart coming out here. I mean, this is beautiful. You are the one waking up your family, you know? Break them open. God, I love this. Seven of Pentacles coming in again. The Devil. That's more shadow. This spread, by the way, I'm learning. I'm really liking it because I haven't used it a lot. But what I'm loving about it is like we build that story. I get a really strong feeling here. That's what's being called for. And then what comes back in are the major energies. Like this would be the Moon, but it's Devil this time. Seven of Pentacles. It's like, okay, this is like the part in the journey where we're facing another boss. And it's like, this one's different, maybe a little bigger. But it's like, remember, that's what your whole journey's always been about. And now that you've slayed the prior boss, I'm getting all the chills, you've built up the strength, you've built up the flavor of strength you've needed all along, and that now you get to use it tenfold for this boss. Because different forms of strength don't work for different bosses. Like in Mario Brothers, sometimes you gotta throw a fireball, sometimes you gotta just leap higher. Right? Offensive, defensive. What kind of strength are you going to need? Oh, that's coming through. So something here, whatever you're going through, there's another level. You've leveled up by going through this reflective period and getting real with people. And now it's almost like you've had an intervention with your fam or somebody. Like you got real. And now it's like, now we get down to the nitty gritty work. What big thing are we tackling? We broke open a little bit enough to be like, oh, that's what we're dealing with. Okay, let's go. I say intervention because maybe some of you are here at like a breaking point, a breaking open point of like, oh man, I'm dealing with something big in my family. And we need broken open. It is an intervention time. You know, intervention, like, you know, somebody has a problem. And it's like, we got to steer the ship away from the edge and come out of that problem. Because our trajectory is one of like, slow down, closing up, or something detrimental. And I say that because of the Tower again came in. The Tower and the Moon and the Devil, these are big energies. So I want to... if this is a serious situation and that's why you're here, like, I feel that. But you can scale this up or down. So for those of you who aren't at the point of like, oh my God, I might lose a loved one, some like to addiction, you know, that level of like intervention, that literally the term intervention, when people gather the troops and say like, get real, we're going to tell you, we see what's happening in your life and we're worried about you. I'm getting all the chills. Are some of you here for that? Okay, that's big. So that's why this spread tends to highlight those scenarios. Like, this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with it at level 1. We're having the intervention, or we're recognizing the need for it. And that builds enough strength to actually do it. And now it's like, boom, that's what this strength's always been about. It's we're going deeper now, but because we've displayed a little bit of it, we've built up that belief in our strength that we can actually do the thing. And this is the final boss of like, let's deal with it. So whatever the situation is for you, this is what it's always been about. You just maybe have to go through different layers of it. Like, you know what I mean? Different like levels. Display the strength, beat the easy boss first. Oh, this one I had to jump over. Or like maybe level 1 is like I had to throw a fireball. Okay, I beat him. And I level up to the next one and I built that like, okay, I know, okay, I've got the confidence. I can deal with whatever this is. And I get to the next boss and I'm like, this time it takes more defensive action than offensive. This time I got to leap over. And I realize I've built that. The inner strength is like the same thing, right? It's my own inner strength. And it's really a belief that I can do it is my strength. And then the way I embody that strength just looks different based on the scenario. This time I used the defensive mode. I leaped over. I didn't have to offense, like attack. Isn't that, you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is pull a final card here at the tippy tip top of our pyramid. We have the Emperor. Talk about strength. This, when I said the embodiment of strength, this is the card I would have picked. Isn't that crazy? Not crazy, not surprising, but synchronicity. So all that to say, you're stepping into your Emperor energy, because an Emperor, oh man, the Emperor and the Queen of Swords, they can do anything together. To embody those energies of like truth telling, and he goes to bat, like that whole defensive energy, that's why those words came out, I guess, because the Emperor, he defends the people he loves. He cares about them so deeply that he is going to be such a pillar of support for them. He's an immovable force. Nothing's going to blow him down. Nothing going to break my stride. Ain't nothing going to blow me down. Guess what? Full circle moment. I just got all the chills. I'm a little woozy actually, because of sometimes in this work I want to puke, or I get so woozy from the energy swirls. Like, I feel like we live in a simulation, dudes, and like time travel. So like something about energy just sometimes is so big it throws me for a loop. When I told you about buying these cards, what came to mind was like the day I bought them was the day I was actually going out of town with my husband's family to go to a bridal shower. And I bought those like on the way back, between coming back in town and going from his sister's house to my house, because on the way was this metaphysical shop, you know. I pop in there, get the cards, and what came to mind when I was telling you that story earlier was being with his family and his niece. Like, we heard that song come on at the bridal shower, that ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm not a singer. Ain't nothing gonna slow me down. Oh no, slow down. Oh my God. I got to keep on moving. Whoa. She loves to sing. His little niece, who's like the same age as my little niece, one of my youngest niece, no, my second youngest niece. And they were born in the same month, May. So it's coming up. And they've been on my mind a lot. So his niece was singing that song over and over all the way home. And then it got stuck in my head all the way home while I was buying that deck, actually. And that just came in hardcore when I said he's immovable. Nothing's going to blow him down. There's something, like, everything comes full circle in these readings. And then I get that whoosh time travel feeling, you know, like, whoa, trippy. And I got that here. So there's something about you are that force for your people. You're like, you can see things for what they are, like the Queen of Swords. You just have that innate ability to be like, truth time, fam. Like, let's get real. And that's your superpower. Because she sees, like, I see we're slowing down here. And you're like, no, that's not our trajectory. You are also the Emperor, and you're like, I'm here to defend you. Like, when it called for that defensive energy, you go to bat for your family. Sometimes you need to use the offensive out of love. You're like, intervention time. We're getting real. This is me in attack mode, meaning attacking the problem head on. I'm getting all the chills. It's saying, like, whatever this was about, you're seeking to break open or break people open, and it's calling for communication, which is real talk, because you're like, we're going to get back to the rosy, like, we're going to tap back into that youthful springtime energy here. We're going to bring love back. And ain't nothing going to slow us down or break my stride. We got to keep on moving. You are that for. Who are you? Every family needs one of those, don't they? Like, we got in a rut, folks. We're breaking back open. What do we want to build as a family, as loved ones? Whoever that is, whether it's a relationship or your whole family. There's a lot of family energy here. That's why I speak like that. And then that whole me relating it back to this and being with family, you know, and going to a bridal shower, and it was about marriage and coming together. oh, I'm gonna puke in a good way. There's like, that's all ringing so true and deep. And what called to me is like earlier I was like reflecting on as I was resetting back up my space, again, full circle moments. I was like, oh, look, these are both gems or crystals that look like hearts. And then they just naturally were here where this heart was turned right side up. And I'm like, no, turn it around, because I want them to look like they're coming together by sitting here, you know? And like, because it's like you and me coming heart to heart. That's our energy we're pulling together to make this happen. And you know what? It's all related to the reading. Like, everything comes full circle. That's what I'm loving about this practice. So that's what this is about. I'm not going to pull any clarifiers because I feel like we just did all of that by words. Okay, so go forth. That's what this is what you're doing. Everything wrapped up in here is the reflection, the why, and what do we want to build from here on out. It's all, you've got those 3 questions. What is this? Like, what do I want? Why do I want it? And how am I going to bring people back together? Because the 3s are here. Harmony. How am I going to bring harmony back in? Getting real talk. Because you care so much. You're like, oh, I'm going to be a truth teller. And here's why. I care so much. I go to bat for you. You can't even see this guy. Sorry. That's this whole, my GoPro overhead cam broke, and I had to use this little cheapy webcam. So that's who you are, with the Queen of Swords over there right here to the right. You embody both of those. Bring them together and go to bat for your fam. That's what you do. Anyway, I gotta go. We went long, of course. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye. I'm doing a little outro here because as I was cleaning up things to put this away, I was reflecting on this drawing, and it's so funny. I almost wanted to, I still do kind of want to puke again in a good way, meaning this is big energy. That, look at this. I think why I felt a slowdown is like this energy seems to go in this direction. Like there's a whoosh feeling. Whereas back here, look, this is where most of the beauty and springtime flowers were. I don't know, I took it kind of literally, I guess. And it's like this eyeball's looking back in time. Like, that's what I wanted, you know, like, let's get back to that. What's funny about the energy, though, when I said something about let's be messy, I forget there's something about that. And if I didn't say it, I was thinking it like, you know, like, let's get real. Like, and this idea of perfectionism and being our messy selves and coming into acceptance for that. Like, it's all related. Whatever gets said in a reading seems to be somehow related to the energies. And so, look at this. Out back in the back, the drawing part of this, especially when I said this pen got all gloppy, messy, right? Like, I'm a messy human. It literally is on my body. And it didn't start happening till right here in the middle of the slowdown, and then we get all messy, right? And it's like, whoosh, going into the future, it's like recognizing through this process of reflection on our slowdown and like, yeah, let's just be our messy human selves. Let's get real. Because in the past, it's not messy. There's no gloppiness, yet it's not as beautiful either. Look at all this color that's more into this part going forward. In the past, even the pen strokes are like light, as if the ink's running out. So it's like we look back through rose-colored glasses to shed some perspective. But in the past, it wasn't as deep. Like, we've built some depth in this relationship together, you know? Depth. Let's be real and messy because it's deep. It gives us character and like, And in the past, things were a little superficial and beautiful, you know? I just love the paradox and the duality of all of that, you know? So I just wanted to highlight, maybe I'll have to do more outros because I've been noticing as I look back, or I'll see the cards, something new in the cards as I'm putting them away. So I'm going to start including those reflections. And it was too much to type, so I just had to turn the camera back on. So there's something about that, like, like being real and messy humans. And when we look back through rose-colored glasses, yeah, let's be reflective. Let's call in the good parts of that to help our situation today. But we're not going back to that, because honestly, we didn't have the depth of character we have now. We didn't know each other's messiness like we do now, and that builds the love. It builds a realer love. Remember when I said, I'm getting the chills because it's coming back to me, about like something about that. Now I lost it, so maybe it's not important. But that, like, back then we were just superficial, like appearances is all that mattered. And now it's like the depth of our characters and like our real love is what matters. Like, oh, that, like, there it was, like the physicality, like our physical relationship, like lust or whatever. Well, it's superficial, right? But it brings us together and it feels like spring love. And then as we grow in a relationship, like the lusty moments or whatever, the physicality gets a little sometimes like depleted, or the energy slows down sometimes, and we get in ruts and, you know, normal human stuff. But there's a depth there, like we know each other, and that's the real love. And so, and it's messy, and sometimes we feel like, oh, we just got to get messy again, and sometimes that'll spark the ooh, yeah, you know, that kind of love too. It builds back up through just like, let's be real and messy and get rid of like the shoulds and like, oh, you know, like have that date night that's all about just talking. Talk about the messes and like real talk, and then get back to like the, what was our initial attraction in the first place? Like, you know, it's all full circle. So I just want to say that's all here in the slowdown, is like slowing down has a purpose. Let's reflect and realize, you know what? Let's be messy. I gotta go wash this off. Thanks for letting me do this little add-on. Bye.